Right. Hello, guys. Blessings. My goodness gracious. Let me just tell you. I am just now getting the opportunity, which is actually the perfect timing, but I'm just now getting the opportunity to come and talk to you guys about something really, really, really important. And, you know, uh, I've been meaning to come by and talk about this. But I gotta tell y'all, let me just tell y'all something. We are not going, we need to understand those of us that have been put in the position of being this person, this person to be taken advantage of, this person to literally be robbed and done wrong. Um, they do not want us to fight them. And they are so ruthless. And we're not talking about a famous person. We're not talking about, um, a celebrity. We're talking about regular, ordinary folk. Okay. So I want to talk to those of you, and I gotta tell you, and it's so bizarre because I'm just like, wow, like y'all wouldn't believe the enemies that I'm up against. It's kind of ridiculous, right? Y'all wouldn't believe the enemies that I'm up against. And I'm never distracted from the stuff that they are trying to do. It's really, really sad. And I think this is just the times that we are living in right now. Do I feel that this is going to go on forever? I don't. I don't think it's going to go on forever. Hey, sis, how are you? And so it's crazy that I am literally just now talking about this at 1 o'clock in the morning after dealing with people that are literally just coming after me because they want to take from me. So, and this is back on the same subject, but this is very important. Okay. Now, for those of you that kind of had crap mothers, you know, they were just they never took care of you, never uh you know, they, they just never, never. It was never a bond. It was always bad, bad, bad. For those of you, this may be different. But those of you that were raised by your parent, which is either your mother or your father, and then all of a sudden, out of the blue, just out of the blue, all of a sudden, your parent kind of walks away from you, right? Abandons you. And this is happening a lot with the church, but it also happens within families on like more of a private arena. And so it can be just as hurtful to an adult child to have their parent turn their backs on them. And a lot of times when it's been happening a lot more as the adults because there are the grave robbers and the vultures. Y'all know who they are? Can anybody guess? I'm about to tell you. These are people that are probably plotting on your parents' death. These are people that failed, essentially, something because they feel that your parent, especially if your parent was responsible, your parent's a hard worker, your parent, is just a responsible parent that works or either has a business or has assets. Okay. If your parent has assets, then all of a sudden there's a problem. There's talks of wills and last wills and testaments. For some reason, your parent might be preoccupied with their death. For some reason, the parent changes, and all of a sudden, they're mad at you for something out of the blue for absolutely nothing. And they feel that they've got to write you out of their will because you're so horrible and a disappointment and blah, 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 blah. Now, a lot of people get so angry that they lose sight. And I speak from personal experience on this one. A lot of people get very angry and they lose sight. And they're just like, screw you. And people get angry, but you got to really calm down and you got to really open up your eyes to see what's going on. Especially if you got along with your parent and y'all had a pretty decent relationship when the parent was raising you. And if none of it is making any sense and you like, what in the heck is going on? Why is this happening? Well, I'm going to tell you why it's happening. Because somebody wants your parents' life insurance. Someone wants your parent to die early so that they can collect. And that's the reality of it. And, for whenever they pass on, that person wants the money. That person wants your parent to be so angry with you that they write you out of their will and write them in. Or either a policy. Okay? Now, me personally, let me taste this. It needs something. Maybe more lemon juice. I'll put a little bit of. And unfortunately, what will end up happening is that, okay, that's pretty good. I'll put a little bit more lemon juice in this. What unfortunately, actually, I'm gonna put a little bit more cucumber in here because I want it to be very overwhelmingly flavorful. So what ends up happening is that, all of a sudden you're a bad kid and it seems like your parent is possessed and you don't know what's wrong with them. And then the parent gets sick, the parent dies, and the death vulture takes the parent's life insurance, sits back and watches you struggle, not only by dealing with losing your parent that you loved, but also struggle financially. Okay? Every parent should be focused on making sure that their kids are good before they exit this earth. It's very, very, very important, no matter what. And so when a parent exits the earth and, their child is going through a bunch of changes and stuff, that makes it a lot worse. It makes it a lot harder. But a lot of the times, I got to be honest with y'all, people are going and paying for voodoo death spells. Uh, and sometimes they work. And then in some cases, people are poisoning. There's poisons, there's certain medications that can be given to a person to cause death, and it can't be detected in the bloodstream. There's usually not an autopsy performed. And then once the parent passes away, the very same people are attacking you. You're already emotional. They're not supporting you, and they're waiting for that life insurance check to hit. So you have to be careful. All of a sudden, perfect. all of a sudden your parent has a problem with you. Why? You usually want to look at the person that's hanging around them the most. And that's the person or people that are the guilty parties. All right? That's the person or persons that is the guilty parties. So the reason why they had to tear your relationship apart with your parent is so that the parent could get so angry with you that they leave everything to them. And of course, they're going to stick to their story. Quit waiting for people to change their story. You have to be stronger than that. You can't wait for bad people to do right. I don't know why people do that. People are constantly waiting and having faith in bad people to do the right thing. I mean, think about it. For a person to turn a parent against their child just so that they can collect their life insurance is not a good person and is not going to change, honey. So let's not even go there. Let's not even, uh, fix our minds or brains to even think that way. Don't be stupid. You're dealing with a very ruthless person. In fact, if your parent is not getting along with you, you need to be on red alert and take it very seriously. You need to find out who's behind it and you need to pay attention, and some kind of work needs to be done. Okay? A lot of us wouldn't be tempted to do that. And it depends on the situation. It depends on the parent, especially your mama. Okay, especially your mama. You got to start working on fixing that relationship before it's too late. People always think they have more time, but then they find out that they don't. Right. But one EQ, there are some cases though, what I'm talking about is people that have somewhat of a decent relationship with a parent, and then all of a sudden the parent just literally becomes this different person. The parent just really literally turns against the child as an adult typically, but it can actually start. I'm sorry, y'all. You gonna Okay, sorry about that, y'all. I don't know how that happened. You want to start as early as possible. Those of you that are teenagers, and there are a lot of teenagers, believe it or not, that practice witchcraft. But those of you that are teenagers, basically what's happening is that somebody, and sometimes it's your father, sometimes it can be your mother that wants something from your father, sometimes it can be both parents. And in that case, it would be handled differently. Okay. However, you know, if you got a situation where your parents are divorced or something, sometimes it could be your father, but a lot of the times it's either churches or either family members, brothers and sisters and aunts and cousins that pretty much are doing what we call death vulturing. They're basically, they want what your parent worked for and they want to cut you out of that. And it's so hateful. It's so hateful. It's so diabolical. They do use witchcraft to do it. And a lot of the times they're using glamour and illusions. Yes. It may, glamour and creating an illusion, it's Not necessarily the same, because an illusion, to me, it's worse. And what the illusion is that there's this problem. You're problematic. You're a bad person because this person or persons, they want your mother's money or either your father's money. Or maybe they just may have a reason to hate you. They may just, or they possibly, because I personally feel that a person that is just cozying up to another person just to take their stuff when they die, I mean, I don't, like, that's messed up. Like, wow, like, a person doing that really can't be friends with nobody. You're above the age of 50. Oh, you're gonna die soon. And see, that's one of the reasons why I don't let nobody take out no life insurance on me. And I don't have life insurance on my children. Mm-mm. No. Then think about it. People that obtain wealth in life, do you think they have a life insurance? No. That's something that people that are impoverished do. And people typically will try to make sure that people die so that they can get that money. It's sad, but it's true. If I were married right now, my husband would not be allowed to take out no life insurance on me and my kids. Hell no. I ain't signing nothing. I don't agree with it. It's not that I don't trust you, babe. It's just that, why you don't have about 400 grand rotating in your account yearly? What's the problem? What's the problem? We was crunching some numbers and my spirits decided that everybody on this planet should be able to rotate about at least 400, 500 grand yearly in their account. What's the problem? If you're doing that, there would be no need for life insurance. But people are not focused on that. People are focused always on the easiest thing for them to do. And yes, they will turn your parents against you. Now, it doesn't, all of them ain't gonna murder your parents. Some of them will. But, if your parent is already old or sick, then that person is working them. They working them. They finessing them, and, they're usually trying to pose as a friend or somebody that really, really cares. They're the ones that created the illusion and the problem and the divisiveness and the problems between you and the parent, you and your older aging parent. And so they are the ones that are typically there that are saying, well, hey, and they're just being like a friend, but a lot of them will be in a position to where they can talk your parent into leaving them their money. Okay. And they will have them broken down. If y'all only knew the stuff that can be done with this spell work, with these spirits, how they can actually compel a person to do just about anything. And people will go to and they will invest in people that are experts at that. Next thing you know, your parent done passed away unexpectedly. There's money going to somebody. And people like that typically will keep the money and they'll make up all kinds of excuses because there are a lot of people like for example with me, okay, if I were in that position with somebody, right? uh and some parent, but I can't really say it like that. If I had access to someone deceased parents money, I would just charge you just like I charge for lottery winnings. I would charge you 6% to return the money to you. I say, hey, I don't know how I ended up with this money. So, for example, if I and I am this type of person, that's why I always know that I'm always gonna be taken care of because I'm a good person. So, like for example, if if I just so happen to have 100 grand or something, you know, I'm gonna give you 96,000 of it. You know what I'm saying? I'm be like, hey, I ended up with this, but here you go. Here's 96,000, and I'll take 6%. and that's it. And I'm sorry you lost your parent. I'm not going to run off with the money and just be selfish like that. And it's probably because I'm very wealthy minded. Like I can make my own money. Like I ain't got to, you know what I'm saying? I ain't got to take from somebody else. And that's just the type of person that I am. And it's nothing wrong with being an honest person. People in this world want to run around here like they Billy Badass, like, oh yeah, and I'm this and that. But when you have honor and integrity and respect and you're a good person, spirit and God and spirits, even the underworld is paying attention to you. They are paying attention to you. They are saying, you know what? This person deserves good things to happen for them because it's rare for somebody to be honest like that these days. It's rare. Most people get scared and they turn into low down, dirty scoundrels. So pay attention to that. Don't just, not even just for the money's sake, but don't let a person put that on your heart. If you can repair your relationship with the parent, then do it. Even if you may have a parent that's a little goofy, little trickster spirit in them, take it from me. Okay, take it from me. I don't suggest anybody to go through losing a parent. And when I say that, I know y'all thinking, well, Jamila, sometimes, but I can tell you that when I went through it, I felt like I was dying too. But what I was feeling, and that was like 3 years ago, my mother passed away 2 years ago. It's 3 years ago. Really, what I was feeling, all that dread and doom, was all that spell work and stuff that was floating around. You know what I'm saying? And then on top of it, I didn't really have the human support except for my kids. Like my son was my rock during that time, and we was all torn up. You know what I'm saying? And but it was also the spell work. It was like I could feel it, and I just, all I could do was say, God, please help me. And God did help me a lot, a lot. You know what I'm saying? That's one of the worst things you can go through. Now, if you hate your parents or whatever, I feel like even if your parents hate you and you hate them, and it's just like total karmic relationship, like it ain't nothing there. Like I do think that it's still going to be like a small grieving process, but it's not going to be the same as if you had years and years and years and years and years to bond with this person, and then all of a sudden, as they started getting older, they started turning on you. If I could go back and do it, I would have went to Kansas City, Missouri, and I would have just eaten my mother's fritters and her chili and her freaking spaghetti one last time. I bonded, me and my mom was close for years, and then all of a sudden, and it's hard, you know what I'm saying? It ain't easy. 'Cause we was always close. And you gotta not be angry. You gotta think, damn. And I know a lot of y'all parents did horrible stuff to y'all. I know. But my mother didn't. You know what I'm saying? Things happened to me growing up. She wasn't behind it. You know what I'm saying? It just was unfortunate things happen. You know what I'm saying? But those of you that have a salvageable relationship with your parent, don't let the death vultures take from you, because they will, because they are low lifed it, they are money hungry, and they don't give a damn about how it affects you. They will sit in your face and go, oh, I'm so sorry that you're going through that, while laughing about having your mother's money. They'll sit in your face at the funeral, and you'll be at the funeral, and you'll have that bittersweetness at the well, all bitter. You'll be torn up at the funeral, and they'll be sitting there looking at you like, I'm so sorry for your loss. But either myself or the church is getting all this money from your mother. Yeah, your mother wrote you out of her will. Yeah, you were a bad kid, huh? That I mean, they getting desperate. Imagine how desperate that is. Somebody's child makes a mistake, ain't never put their hands on their mother, ain't never stole nothing from their parent, but yet you got this death vulture that has literally exacerbated and put your mama or your daddy in an illusion that you're basically just like a demon. And then sometimes, even when they go to some of these psychics, be careful with these psychics. See, I have a lot of clients that have problems with their relationship with their parents. If any of it is salvageable, we gonna work and build from that. I'm not gonna ever just say, "Oh, screw your mama," and then some of them will find your mama. They'll find they'll find your mama and start playing her again. And see, that's a disgusting person. That's a disgusting person that would do that. And people do it. Next thing you know, that they will be puppeteering your mama or your daddy. Just speaking personally, I like internally, I have a lot of issues with my father. A lot. There's a lot that comes in through spirit that I be knowing about, or I be picking up on, or whatever, from my father. So a lot of the times it's your relationship with your mother, which is why it's more often for people to have bad relationships with their mother. Because the mother is typically seen as the weaker person. Sometimes, not all the time, they are. But you know, start working on it now. Soon as you see it, start working. That's why they all in your business, going through your rooms, rummaging through your closets. They want to know if you're doing any witchcraft, because they're doing it. They're doing it, and they want some extra, I think they call it disposable income. What's the other word for it, sis? Mm-hmm. Yeah. What's the word on passive income? They call it, if they can, if they're lucky enough. Now, your parent should have the will to fight that, right? And you're thinking, damn, yeah, free money, passive money from somebody passing away. You would think that a parent would be strong enough to fight through that, like, and not do that to their own child. However, in the world that we live in, with people putting so much fear in each other when it comes to religion and stuff like that, so that's how your parents are programmed. And then sometimes the men and the women in your family, your whole family will be, tightly knit, but yet there'll be something lying underneath, and they'll be tightly knit. And they'll, every single time they grabbing their Bibles, they thumping on their Bibles, and they plotting on each other's death because they all broke. They don't know how to make their own damn money. Anybody that they know knows how to make their own money, they attacking them. They want to make they want some free money the dirty way, the lazy way, right? And then there you have it, you know. But for them, it's about the money. For you, it should be about the relationship with your parent, especially if that parent really, really tried to do the best that they could when they raised you. You know what I'm saying? And I'm not talking about Some of these parents, like there was a parent just recently, and I saw this story and it was heartbreaking. This woman left her 10-month-old baby to go on vacation for 10 days. No, I think she was 16 months old. She left the baby in the pack and play with two bottles and went on vacation for 10 days. Cute little fat baby. Cute little fat little chunky butt baby. And so the baby obviously passed away. Can't no baby make it on their own, for the baby barely just started walking. Stuck in a playpen with two bottles, the baby started eating her own feces to survive. 10 days, that baby ain't gonna make it. She left that baby for 10 days and went on vacation, went to Puerto Rico and Michigan, left the baby for 10 days. Went to the court, and in her testimonial, she said, I did the best that I could. And I was a good mother, is what she said. You know what the judge told her before he gave her life in prison with no possibility of parole? He said, no, actually, you weren't a good mother. And you did not do the best that you could. And so she got sentenced to life in prison with no possibility of parole. That was horrible. Why she would think, I mean, I think she knew that baby was going to pass away. They said when the coroner's examination said that baby, the eyes was all something. That baby had totally deteriorated in that 10 days. Two bottles and feces? No, that baby wasn't going to make it. She knew that baby. She knew. She's sitting up there trying to act and play dumb. Like, no, hun, you go ahead and come on. Let's put these cuffs on you. Let's go and put you away forever. Okay. Okay, cool. Hey. Okay, y'all. I said, dang, that just, oh my God. Cause I stay up on stories like that, man. You know what I'm saying? Cause I feel like whenever I even see stories like that, I feel like either my spirits or that child, came to me. I feel like it's a sign from beyond the veil. And, it was just really, really sad that had happened. And so, so some of your parents, they did all kind of horrible stuff to you and they were not doing the best that they could. So I understand that. I'm not talking about that. Parents like that, actually, if a parent mistreated you, abused you, once you survive it and get older, you can actually sue that parent, especially if they got some money. Now, that's another thing y'all don't know about. If it was any kind of emotional, narcissistic, physical, essay abuse in your household, and your parent running around here got all this money, you can take them to court, okay, and say, hey, this situation that this parent did, the parent doesn't love me. The parent sent me through this. I went through that. It was the parent's fault. There was never any legal justice, because it couldn't be proven, but it did happen. And then of course there'll probably be evidence in your email or your text message of the parent abusing you really bad, and you can take that to court. Bada boom, bada bing. Okay, I've been messed up since my parent did this to me. I want my money. I'm asking for some kind of reparations for what this parent did to me, and the courts will look at it. They'll look at it. It would be a civil lawsuit. Okay. But I'm talking about those of you that had a pretty decent relationship with your parent and somebody just swoops in like a damn vulture and says, "Oh, no, 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 this parent is responsible," because that's a blessing. That's a blessing. If your parent got up every day and went to work, that's a blessing because everybody don't have that. And then especially if your parent protected you from certain abuses, you are so stinking lucky that you have that parent, appreciate that parent that did that for you. Because everybody don't have that. Some people's parents is at a flop house, drug house, selling their kids off. You was very lucky to have that parent. You know, I used to watch my mama get up and go to work, and it'd be like 3 or 4 feet of snow outside. This lady would wrap her boots with 3 or 4 plastic bags. My mother always caught the bus. My mother couldn't drive. And I'm going to say this to people that are in here trying to be weird. Um, my grandmother is right here. Her spirit is right here, and she will stomp on you because my mother's with my grandmother, and she's been mediating and healing a lot of this situation. Okay. Anyway, my mother would get up and she would have her boots on, and she would actually wrap 4 or 5 plastic bags around her boots so that her foot couldn't get, because my mother didn't drive. She had a bad car accident when she was 16 years old. And, so she didn't drive. So, that was dedication. My mother was a hard worker. And, that energy and that spirit, we've been containing that spirit a lot. I've been containing that spirit that got unleashed, which was Pandora's box for somebody else's friggin' benefit, because it kept roaming around, still steadily trying to steal from me, steal from my mother's grandchildren. Okay, just because somebody had a disagreement with their parent doesn't mean that they hate each other. And you got death vultures that want to feed off of that. These are people that are not honest. Because I can tell you, for years there would be times me and my mother would get into it. We would go and we would talk. I would always talk to my grandmother about it. She passed away. Uh, she was. When did she pass away? It was about 15 years ago. About 15 year ish ago. And we would have our arguments, and we would even say things that to each other that we didn't really mean, but we would always come back together, and we would always still be family. For people to try to make it seem like, oh, this is final because I want your mama's money. That's a death vulture. That's a bum. That's a loser. That's somebody that is an opportunist. And it's a lot of men running around here with romance scams too. I was looking at this Lifetime movie about this man, this younger man that was trying to date this older woman, and he really just wanted to take her life insurance policy. And the child knew something was up with her mom's boyfriend, and she basically saved her mother from this man who essentially was trying to like push the mother down the steps and kill her and get her money and shit. Goodness gracious. And you got to learn the laws in your state about community property and stuff like that. It's important to learn that kind of stuff. But at the end of the day, you know, um, if there isn't a will and a life insurance policy are two different things. A will or an estate is what automatically goes to the children, the heir of the deceased. Okay. A life insurance policy is basically just a life insurance policy that a person will get, when someone passes away. That has nothing to do with a will. And so my mother didn't have a will because my mother wasn't planning on dying anytime soon. She was kind of weirded out about death. So anyway, that's what I wanted to talk to you guys about. Get on that right now, okay? And I can guarantee you that there's some kind of spell work being done. I can guarantee you that there's some, and a lot of times it's coming from within the family. A lot of people be like, white people, they doing this, they doing that. No, that's happening within your family. Okay. And white folks go through it too, but black people always, this is a white person doing this, white person. Well, hell, that's your uncle. That's your brother doing that. What you talking about? You know what I'm saying? Fool's gold, not taking the necessary step to get what you want, which leaves them open to anyone taking everything from them. They have nothing in reality. Yeah, it's sad. It's sad, sis. But and so you are battling spirits and witchcraft. Even if you're dealing with Christianity and a lot of the religions are just another form of witchcraft. Whatever it is that they're using, but usually they gonna go to some witches. And I don't have people come to me talking about, well, yeah, this is person in my family and they getting old and I want them to die soon. And I think you may have came to the wrong witch because I don't do things like that. I don't do things like that. Like, well, why not? Because I don't have to. There's plenty of space and opportunity and money for me to make without doing some crap like that. Okay. No, thank you and goodbye. Okay. Seriously. Like seriously, on some seriousness. Okay. But, they do go to witches to get that work done. You know what I'm saying? I wouldn't let nobody, I don't care how drunk I was or whatever. Here, sign these papers. No. And get the fuck out of my house. Sign these life insurance papers. And that one I probably had to go and if I had a pistol, I'd go grab my pistol. I'm like, and I'll be like, excuse me a minute. I gotta go upstairs to the bathroom real quick, do some slick Rosemary's Baby. Remember Rosemary? Rosemary was a slick one, boy. Well, she couldn't get away from that situation because, but excuse me, let me run upstairs. Okay, come back down with my pistol. Hey, you got 2 seconds to get the fuck up out of my house. Asking me to sign some life insurance papers. But some of them will give them to them willingly. Some of them will give it to them willingly. They'll have them so mad and they'll do things out of spite. And, the next thing you know, it's all bad. You know what I'm saying? And you can't have a relationship with your parent because this person is a broke ass bum that whatever it was that they was doing wasn't right. They they somehow messed up their life, and then now they expecting your aging parent to make up for their life, and it happens more often than what you think. Okay. All right, guys, that's pretty much what I wanted to talk about. My spirits was like, we would have came earlier, and so hopefully a lot of you guys get this message. This is a very important message, and I have been wasting a lot. I don't think it's a waste of time. I think it's good because it lets the public know how to see people that need clarification from some of these liars on here. But like I was saying earlier, I have enemies in very high places, and mhm. So hit that thumbs up, subscribe, and check out my website, divineservicesapothecary.com. Thank you for all of the compliments, though, of those of you that like the new look of the website. I love it. I took those pictures myself, and it just does. It makes it more special, doesn't it? It really does. Like it's amazing. So I'm loving my website these days. Okay, I'll see you guys later. All right, blessings. Bye.